ಸಂಸಾರದವ ನಲಲಿದಲೋಕ ತ್ರಣಯ ಕಾರುಣ್ಯ ಗಣ ಗಣ ತ್ವಂ प्रप्तस्य कल्याणा गुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम् महाप्रभो कीर्तन नित्या गीता वादित्रमाद्यान् मनसो रसेना रोमाञ्चकाम्पा सुतरङ्गभाजो वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम् श्रीविग्रहाराधननित्यानाना सिंगारातान् मन्दिरमजनादो युक्तस्य भक्तां च नियुञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम् चतुर्विधा श्री भगवत्प्रसादा स्वादान्न तृप्तान् हरिभक्तसङ्गान् कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम् श्रीराधिका माधवयोरपारा माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनाम्नाम् प्रतीक्षणा स्वादनलोलुपास्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम् निकुञ्जयूनो रतिकेलिसीद्यै यायालिभिर्युक्तिरपेक्षणीया तत्रादिदाक्षात् अतिवल्लभास्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम् साक्षादरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव साध्वी किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादान् न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायान् सुवांस्तस्य यशस्श्रीसन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम् 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 नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा Sri Advaita Gadadara Sivasadi Gau Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhava, Radha Nila Madhava, Sri Radhe. Jayo Jagannatha, Jayo Baladeva, Jayo Subhadrama, Jayo Sudarshana. Jayo Sitaram, Jayo Sitaram, Jayo Sitaram, Jayo Lakshmana Hanuman. Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha. Jayo Gauranitai, Jayo Gauranitai, Jayo Gauranitai, Jayo Gauranitai. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada. Jayo Guru Deva, Jayo Guru Deva, Jayo Guru Deva, Jayo Guru Deva. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Om Shnu Pada Brahmamsa Patakacharya Ashtota Shata Shishmat His Divine Grace Aparchana Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON BBTP I found Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Shnu Pada Brahmamsa Patakacharya Ashtota Shata Shishmat His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Premise Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Kili Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Shri Purushotama Chaitra Jagnapuri Dham Ki Jai Shri Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samavrita Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlada Lada Daine Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha Shilatankanakalae Ito Nasimha Parato Nasimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Nasimha Bahir Nasimha Hidaye Nasimha Narasimham Adim Sharanam Paprade Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Abhuda Shinga Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanavringa Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Kamalavare Nakam Abhuda Shinga ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनवृङ्गा केशवनीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव सिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नरसिंहदेव महाराज
Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Eya Pilashi Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Eya Pilashi Yeto Mara Sharanalo Tara Vancha Purnaho Kripa Kodi Koro Tare Vrindavana Vasi Moraya Pilas Vilas Kunje Diovasa Nayane Heri Bosada Yugala Ruparashi Eni Vedana Taro Sakira Nugata Koro Sevati Karadie Koro Nijadasi Vina Krishna Dase Koi Yena Mora Hoi Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Yena Bhasi Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Yena Bhasi Yani Kani Cha Papani Brahmahatyadi Kani Cha Tani Tani Pranashanti Pradakshina Pade Pade Yani Kani Cha Papani Brahmahatyadi Kani Cha Tani Tani Pranashanti Pradakshina Pade Pade Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrinda Devi Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrinda Devi Nittai Gaura Hari Bolo Hari Bolo Hari Bolo Nittai Gaura Hari Bolo Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Pihaya Keshava Sacha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavataya Namo Namaha Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Pihaya Keshava Sacha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavataya Namo Namaha Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Priyaya Keshavasya Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavataya Namo Namaha. Vrinda Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. O Tulasi, beloved Krishna, I bow down before you again and again. My desire to the service is Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has wish fulfilled. Bestow mercy upon him and make him a resident in Vrindavan. My desire also grant me residence in the precious groves of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Thus within my vision I shall always behold the beautiful person Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me a follower of Karo Dancer Virja. Please give me the priest devotional service and make me your own maidservant. This very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna prays. May I always swim in the love of Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. There are 10 fancies in the matter of chant holy name that should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who dedicate their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the name the demigods like Lord Shiva or Brahma to be equal to independent name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature pursuing the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities and strength of chanting the holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna one of our spiritual ritual activities, offering the Veda the fruity activities, karma, kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glory of the holy name. 10. To not complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments in understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve desired success. Krishna Prema. Now let us offer our most humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just as I trees who can fulfill to everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned soul. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam Ki Jai. Jeto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shriya Kairava Chantrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purunarmita Sadhanam Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etadvishi Tava Kripa Bhagavam Mamapi Durudeva Midisham Iha Janina Nurakaha Trinatapi Sunijena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadaharihi Na Thanam Na Janam Na Sundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Jamani Jamanishvare Bhavatat Bhaktir Haituki Tavai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Ham Vishame Bhavam Puta Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stithaturi Satesham Vichintaya Nayanam Karatashuru Dharaya Vatanam Kat Kata Rudaya Kira Pulakai Nichitam Vapurkata Tava Nama Krahane Bhavishati Yuga itam nimishena chakshusha pravisha itam shunya itam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me ashrisha va padratam pinnastumam atarshanam marmahatam karotu va yatha tatha va vitatha lampato matprana nathastu se eva na paraha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam Ki Jai. Shri Mangala Aarti. Glory to Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which is considered the heart of all the deaths accumulated for years, and distinction fire of conditional life, repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction of humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, enables to fully taste the nectar for which always anxious. Oh my Lord, your holy name alone grants all benediction of human beings. Thus have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govind. In these transcendental names, invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, our kindness enables us to easily approach you by holy names, but I'm so unfortunate I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Mahajananda Krishna, I am an eternal servitor, yet somehow I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of Adam's lotus feet. O my Lord, while my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant the holy name, while my voice choke up and when hairs my body stand and the recitation of your name. O Govind, feeling on separation, I'm concerned moment to be like a great millennium. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord. He shall remain so even handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam Ki Jai. Shri Mangala Charna Prayers Ki Jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Litam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragnatam Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadhuitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vidamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pachadesha Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhavin Namaha Madhuyo Jala Premhadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktita Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Mutaye Dina Darine Rupanuga Virudapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Mutaye Vipalambara Sambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaurarvya Bhava Bhumistvam Nirdishta Sajanapriyaha Vaishnava Sarabhauma Shri Jaganathayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishin Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakham Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Sratoro Pango Mamamanda Materkati Masarva Swapadam Bojo Radha Madanamo Hano Divya Vindadana Kalpadumada Shimadra Nagara Singhasanasto Shimadratha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtari Pi Sevyamano Smarami Shiman Rasa Rasaram Bivam Shiva Tatatastitaha Karshang Vinu Suner Gopir Gopinata Shiyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Panamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Mangala Charna Prayers Ki Jai. Shri Paramasamhita ki jai. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadya Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Parakara Satmasukapa Viksha Lakshariteshu Surabi Rabi Palayantam Lakshmi Sahasa Shatasam Paramasevamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Venum Kavanantam Aravinda Dalaya Daksham Parhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Gantarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Alola Chanta Kalasa Vanamada Vamshi Ranangadam Panayakiri Kalavilasam Shamam Tibanga Lalitam Yatapakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Angani Yasya Sakalindriya Vrittimanti Pasyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chimme Satujala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Advaitam Achotam Anadi Mananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Dulabam Adulabam Atma Bhakta Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Bantastu Koti Shatavassara Sampragamyo Vayuratapi Manaso Munipangkavanam Sopiasti Yapapata Simya Vichinta Tatve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ekopya Sarachaitum Jagadanta Kotim Yachakti Rasti Jagadanta Chayayatantaha Antantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yad Bhava Bhavita Diyo Manujasta Teva Samprapya Rupa Mahimasana Yana Bhushaha Suktaryam Eva Nigama Patitai Stuvanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ananda Chimma Rasa Patibhavitapi Tapiya Evan Jarupa Tayakalapihi Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhutto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Premanjana Churuta Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sateva Hitayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sunda Machintya Guna Swarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ramadi Murtishu Kalanyamena Tishtan Nanavatara Makaro Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhava Paramapumam Yo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami. Krishna, who is Govinda, the Supreme Godhead, he has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and the prime cause of all causes. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire, in a both built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purple trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with a figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, around whose neck is swinging garland flowers, beautified with a moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with a flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shama Sundar is eternally manifest.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning, and eternal Purusha, yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane extending over thousands of millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe, at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Vedas by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveyances, and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of ecstatic potency, possessed of the 64 artistic activities, in the company of her confidants, Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shamachandra Krishna himself with inconceivable innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifests himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the form of the Rama, Nrsimha, Vamana, etc. at his subjective portions. Shri Brahma Samhita Ki Jai.
Bhagavad Gita 7.1 purport. Shrunvatam swakata Krishna punyasravana kirtanah hridayanta histo hi abhadrani vidunoti suhritsatam nasta prayesva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttam sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayaschaye चेत एतर अनावेदम सितम सत्वे प्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवद् भक्ति योगतः भगवत् तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगस्य जायते विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथेश्चिद्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः क्षीयन्ते च कर्माणि दृष्टा एवात्मनीश्वरे. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the signs of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of Asamsayam Samagram, understanding of the absolute truth personality of Godhead. Bhagavatam 1.2.17 to 21. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the signs of Krishna. Hare Krishna. We'll continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, Text 10. Ye me tanur dvija varan duhatir madhiya bhutani alabdha saranani cha bheda buddhya drikshyanti agakshata drisho hi ahimanyavastan gridram rusa mamakushanti adidhandanetuhu. Ye, which persons? Me, my. Tanuhu, body, Dvijavaran, the best of the Brahmanas, Duhatihi, cows, Madhya, relating to me, Bhutani, living entities, Alabdha Saranani, defenseless, Cha, and Veda Buddhya, considering as different, Drakshanti, see, Aga, by sin, Kshata is impaired, Drisha, whose faculty of judgment, high, because Ahi, like a snake, Manyavaha, angry, Tan, those same persons, Grudraha, the vulture-like messengers, Rusha, angrily, Mama, my, Kushanti, tear, Adidhanda Netuhu, of the superintendent of punishment, Yamaraja. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Brahmanas, the cows, and the defenseless creatures are my own body. Those whose faculty of judgment has been impaired by their own sin look upon these as distinct from me. They are just like furious serpents, and they are angrily torn apart by the bills of the vulture-like messengers of Yamaraja, the superintendent of sinful persons. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The defenseless creatures, according to Brahma Samhita, are the cows, brahmanas, women, children, and old men. Of these five, the brahmanas and cows are especially mentioned in this verse because the Lord is always anxious about the benefit of the brahmanas and the cows and is prayed to in this way. The Lord especially instructs, therefore, that no one should be envious of these five, especially the cows and brahmanas. In some of the Bhagavatam readings, the word duhitri is used instead of duhatihi, but in either case, the meaning is the same. Duhatihi means cow, and duhitreha can also be used to mean cow, because the cow is supposed to be the daughter of the sun god. Just as children are taken care of by the parents, women as a class should be taken care of by the father, husband, or grown-up son. Those who are helpless must be taken care of by their respective guardians. Otherwise, the guardians will be subjected to the punishment of Yamaraja, who is appointed by the Lord to supervise the activities of sinful living creatures. The assistants or messengers of Yamaraja are likened here to vultures, and those who do not execute their respective duties in protecting their wards are compared to serpents. Vultures deal very seriously with serpents, and similarly, the messengers will deal very seriously with neglectful guardians. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, Text 11. Ye Brahmanan Maidiya Kshitpato Richayantas Dusyadruda Smita Sudokshita Padmavaktraha Vanyanuraga Kalayatmajavad Grunantaha Sambodhayanti aham ivaham upahritasthai. Ye, which persons? Brahmanan, the Brahmanas. Mai, in me. Diya, with intelligence. Shipata, uttering harsh words. Archayanta, respecting. Tushad, gladdened. Hruda, heart. Smita, smiling. Sudha, nectar. Ukshita, wet. Padma, lotus like. Vaktra, faces. Vanya, with words. Anurag Kalaya, loving. Atmaja Vat, like a son. Grinanta, praising. Sabdodayanti, pacify. Aham, I. Iva, as. Aham, I. Upahrita, being controlled. Tahi, by them. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. On the other hand, they captivate my heart who are gladdened in heart and who, their lotus faces, enlightened by nectarian smiles, respect the Brahmanas, even though the Brahmanas utter harsh words. They look upon the Brahmanas as my own self and pacify them by praising them in loving words, even as a son would appease an angry father, or as I am pacifying you. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It has been observed in many instances in the Vedic scriptures that when the Brahmanas or Vaishnavas curse someone in an angry mood, the person who is cursed does not take it upon himself to treat the Brahmanas or Vaishnavas in the same way. There are many examples of this. For instance, the sons of Kuvera, when cursed by the great sage Narada, did not seek revenge in the same harsh way, but submitted. Here also, when Jaya and Vijaya were cursed by the four Kumaras, they did not become harsh towards them, rather, they submitted. That should be the way of treating Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. One may sometimes be faced with a grievous situation created by Brahmana, but instead of meeting him with a similar mood, one should try to pacify with a smiling face and mild treatment. Brahmanas and Vaishnavas should be accepted as earthly representatives of Narayana. Nowadays, some foolish persons have manufactured the term Daridra Narayana, indicating that the poor man should be accepted as a representative of Narayana. But in Vedic literature, we do not find that poor men should be treated as representatives of Narayana. Of course, those who are unprotected are mentioned here, but the definition of this phrase is clear from the Shastras. The poor man should not be unprotected, but the Brahmana should especially be treated as the representative of Narayana and should be worshipped like him. It is specifically said that to pacify the Brahmanas, one's face should be lotus-like. A lotus-like face is exhibited when one is adorned with love and affection. In this respect, the example of the fathers being angry at the son and the sons trying to pacify the father with smiling and sweet words is very appropriate. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, Text 12. Tanme swabarthur avasayam alakshamano yasmad vyatikrama gatim pratipadya sadhyah bhuyo mamantikam itam tad anugrahomi yat kalpatam achirato Brihatayor Vivashaha. Tat, therefore, me, my, Sabhartuhu, of their master, Avasayam, the intention, Alaka, Alakshamanau, not knowing, Yasmat, against you, Vyatikrama, offense, Gatim, result, Pratipadya, reaping, Sadhya, immediately, Bhuya, again, Mama Antikam, near me, Itam, obtain, Tat, that, Anugraha, a favor, me, to me, Yat, which, Kalpatam, let it be arranged, Achirataha, not long, Vratayoh, of these two servants, Vivasaha, exile. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. These servants of mine have transgressed against you, not knowing the mind of their master. I shall therefore deem it a favor done to me, if you order that. Although reaping the fruit of their transgression, they may return to my presence soon, and the time of their exile from my abode may expire before long. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. From this statement, we can understand how anxious the Lord is to get his servitor back into Vaikuntha. This incident therefore proves that those who have once entered a Vaikuntha planet can never fall down. The case of Jaya Vijaya is not a fall down, it is just an accident. The Lord is always anxious to get such devotees back again to the Vaikuntha planets as soon as possible. It is to be assumed that there is no possibility of misunderstanding between the Lord and the devotees. But when there are discrepancies or disruptions between one devotee and other, one has to suffer the consequences, although that suffering is temporary. The Lord is so kind to his devotees that he took all the responsibility for the doorman's offense and requested the sages to give them facilities to return to Vaikuntha as soon as possible. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, Text 13. Brahma Vacha Atatasyo Satim Devim Rishikulyam Saraswatim Nasvadyamanyudastanam Tesam Atmapi Atripyata. Brahma, Lord Brahma, Uvacha said, Atha now, Tasya of the Supreme Lord, Usatim, lovely, Devim, shining, Rishikulyam, like a series of Vedic hymns, Saraswatim, speech, Na, not, Aswadya, hearing, Manyu, anger, Dastanam, bitten, Tesham, of those sages, Atma, the mind, Api, even though, Atpratyata, satiated. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Brahma continued, even though sages had been bitten by the serpent of anger, their souls were not satiated with hearing the Lord's lovely and illuminating speech, which was like a series of Vedic hymns. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, Text 14. Satim vyadaya srinvananto lagvim gurva artha gahvararam vigahya gada gambhiram na vidoschak chikirstitam. Satim, excellent. Vyadaya, with attentive oral reception. Srinvantaha, hearing. Laghvim, properly composed. Guru, momentous. Artha, import. Gavaram, difficult to understand. Vigaya, pondering. Agadha, deep. Gambhiram, grave. Na, not. Viduhu, understand. Tat, of the Supreme Lord. Chikirsitam, the intention. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord's excellent speech was difficult to comprehend because of its momentous import and its profound significance. The sages heard it with wide open ears and pondered it as well, but although hearing, they could not understand what he intended to do. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It should be understood that no one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead in speaking. There is no difference between the Supreme Person and his speeches, for he stands on the absolute form. The sages tried with wide open ears to understand the words from the lips of the Supreme Lord, but although his speech was very concise and meaningful, the sages could not completely comprehend what he was saying. They could not even comprehend the purport of the speech or what the Supreme Lord wanted to do, nor could they understand whether the Lord was angry or pleased with them. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, Text 15. Te Mayaya Rabdha Paramesya Mahodayam Prochu Pranjalayo Vipraha Prahrastaha Kshubita Tavatvachaha. Te, those Yogamayaya, through his internal potency, Arabdha had been revealed, Paramesya of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Maha Udayam, multi glories, Prochu spoke, Pranjalayaha with folded hands, Vipraha, the four Brahmanas, Prahristaha, extremely delighted, Kshubita, Tvacha, hair standing on end. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The four Brahmana sages were nevertheless extremely delighted to behold him, and they experienced a thrill throughout their bodies. They then spoke as follows to the Lord, who had revealed the multi-glories of the Supreme Personality through his internal potency, Yogamaya. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The sages were almost too puzzled to speak before the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the first time. And the hairs of their bodies stood erect due to their extreme joy. The highest opulence in the material world is called Parameshya, the opulence of Brahma. But that material opulence of Brahma, who lives on the topmost planet within this material world, cannot compare to the opulence of the Supreme Lord, because the transcendental opulence in the spiritual world is caused by Yogamaya, whereas the opulence in the material world is caused by Mahamaya.
Text 16, Canto 3, Chapter 16. Rishaya va ucho navayam bhagavan vidmas tava deva chikirshitam krutomi nugrahas cheti yad adyaksha prabhasase. Rishya, the sages, Uchu said, "Na, not, Vayam, we, Bhagavan, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vidmaha, did know, Tava, your, Deva, O Lord, Chikirshitam, wish for us to do, Kritaha has been done, may, unto me, Anugraha, favor, Cha, and Iti, thus, Yat, which, Adyakshaha, the Supreme Ruler, Prabhasase, you say." Translation. The sages said, "O Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are unable to know what you intend for us to do. For even though you are the Supreme Ruler of all, you speak in our favor as if we had done something good for you." Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The sages could understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is above everyone, was speaking as if he were in the wrong. Therefore, it was difficult for them to understand the words of the Lord. They could understand, however, that the Lord was speaking in such a humble way just to show them His all-merciful favor.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, Text 17. Brahmanasya param devam brahmana kilate prabho Vipranam Deva Devanam Bhagavan Atma Daivatam. Brahmanasya of the Supreme Director of the Brahmanical culture. Param, the highest, Daivam, position. Brahmana, the Brahmanas. Kila, for the teaching of others. Te, your. Prabho, O Lord. Vipranam, of the Brahmanas. Deva Devanam, to be worshipped by the demigods. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Atma, the Self. Daivatam, worshipable deity. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Lord, you are the Supreme Director of the Brahmanical culture. You are considering the Brahmanas to be the highest position is your example for teaching others. Actually, you are the Supreme worshipable deity, not only for the God but for the Brahmanas also. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the Brahma Samhita, it is clearly stated that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the cause of all causes. There are undoubtedly many demigods, the chiefs of whom are Brahma and Shiva. Lord Vishnu is the Lord of Brahma and Shiva, Brahma and Shiva, not to speak of the Brahmanas in this material world. As mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, The Supreme Lord is very favorable towards all activities performed according to Brahmanical culture or the qualities of control of the senses and mind. Cleanliness, forbearance, faith in scripture, and practical and theoretical knowledge. The Lord is the supreme soul of everyone. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Lord is the source of all emanations. Thus, He is also the source of Brahma and Shiva.
Text 18, Canto 3, Chapter 16. Tvatta sanatano dharmo rakshate tanu bistava dharmasya paramo guhya nirvikaro bhavan mataha. Tvattaha, from you, sanatanaha, eternal, dharmaha, occupation, rakshate is protected, tanubhihi, by multi-manifestation, tava, your, dharmasya, of religious principle, paramaha, the supreme, guhyaha, objective, nirvikaraha, unchangeable, bhavan, you, matah, in our opinion. Translation: you are the source of the eternal occupation of all living entities, and by your multi-manifestations of personalities of Godhead, you have always protected religion. You are the supreme objective of religious principle, and in our opinion, you are inexhaustible and unchangeable eternally. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The statement in this verse, Dharmasya Paramo Guhya, refers to the most confidential part of all religious principle. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. The conclusion of Lord Krishna in his advice to Arjuna is, give up all other religious engagement and just surrender unto me. This is the most confidential knowledge in executing religious principle. In the Bhagavatam, also it is stated that if one does not become Krishna conscious after very rigidly executing one's specified religious duties, all his labor in following so-called religious principles is simply waste of time. Here also the sages confirm the statement that the Supreme Lord, not the demigods, is the ultimate goal of all religious principles. There are many foolish propagandists who say that worship of the demigods is also a way to reach the supreme goal. But in the authorized statements of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, this is not accepted. Bhagavad Gita says that one who worships a particular demigod can reach the demigod's planet, but one who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead can enter into Vaikuntha. Some propagandists say that regardless of what one does, he will ultimately reach the supreme abode of the Personality of Godhead. But this is not valid. The Lord is eternal. The Lord's servitor is eternal. The Lord's abode is also eternal. They are also described here as Sanatana or eternal. The result of devotional service, therefore, is not temporary, as is the achievement of heavenly planets by worshipping the demigods. The sages wanted to stress that although the Lord, out of his causeless mercy, says that he worships the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, actually, the Lord is worshipable not only by the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, but also by the demigods. Text 19, Canto 3, Chapter 16. Tarantihi anjasa mrutyam nivruttayad anugrahat yoginasa bhavan kim swed anugrahyeta yat paraihi. Taranti, cross over, he, because, anjasa, easily, mrutyam, birth and death, nivruttaha, ceasing all material desires, yet, you are anugrahat, by mercy, yoginaha, transcendentalist, saha, the Supreme Lord, bhavan, you, kim swit, never possible, anugrahyeta, may be favored, yet, which, parai, by others. Mystics and transcendentalists, by the mercy of the Lord, cross beyond nescience by seizing all material desires. It is not possible, therefore, that the Supreme Lord can be favored by others. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Unless one is favored by the Supreme Lord, one cannot cross over the ocean of the nescience of repeated birth and death. Here it is stated that yogis or mystics cross beyond nescience by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many kinds of mystics such as Karma Yogi, Gnana Yogi, Dhyana Yogi, and Bhakti Yogi. The Karma is particularly search after the favor of the demigods. The Jnanis want to become one with the Supreme Absolute Truth, and the Yogis are satisfied simply by partial vision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma, and ultimately by oneness with Him. But the Bhaktas, the devotees, want to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead eternally and serve Him. It has already been admitted that the Lord is eternal, and those who want the favor of the Supreme Lord perpetually are also eternal. Therefore, yogis here means devotees. By the mercy of the Lord, devotees can easily pass beyond the signs of birth and death and attain the eternal abode of the Lord. The Lord is therefore not in need of another's favor because no one is equal to or greater than Him. Actually, everyone needs the favor of the Lord for successful understanding of His human mission. Text 20. Yam vai vibhuti rupayati anu velamanyayir ardhar dibi swasirasha drutapada renu danyar pitangri tulasi navadamadamno lokam madhuvratapater ivakamayana. Yam, whom, why, certainly, Vibhuti, Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, Upayati, waits upon, Anuvelam, occasionally, Anyehi, by others, Ardha, material facility, Artibihi, by those who desire, Swasirasa, on their own heads, Drita, accepting, Pada, of the feet, Renu, the dust, Dhanya, by the devotees, Arpita, offered, Angri, at your feet, Tulasi, of tulasi leaves, Nava, fresh, Dhamma, on the garland, Dhamna, having a place, Lokam, the place, Madhuvratapate, of the king of the bees, Iva, like, Kamayana, is anxious to secure. Translation: the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, the dust of whose feet is worn on the head by others, waits upon you, as appointed, for she is anxious to secure a place in the abode of the king of bees, who hovers on the fresh wreath of tulasi leaves offered at your feet by some blessed devotee. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. As previously described, Tulasi has attained all superior qualities due to being placed at the lotus feet of the Lord. The compassion made here is very nice. As the king of bees hovers over the tulasi leaves offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, so Lakshmi, the goddess who is sought by the demigods, Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, and everyone else, always engages in rendering service to the lotus feet of the Lord. The conclusion is that no one can be the benefactor of the Lord. Everyone is actually the servant of the Lord. Text 21, Canto 3, Chapter 16. Estam vivikta charitair anuvartamanam nachadriyat parama bhagavata prasanga sattvam dvijanupata punya raja punita srivasya lakshmakim aga bhajanastvam bhajanastvam. Yahoo! Tam, Lakshmi, Vivikta, completely pure, Charitai, devotional services, Anuvartamanam, serving, no, not, Atyadriyat, attached, Parama, the highest, Bhagavata, devotees, Prasangaha, attached, Sah, the Supreme Lord, Tvam, you, Dvija, of the Brahmanas. Anupata, on the path, Punya, sanctified, Raja, dust, Punitaha, purified, Srivacha, of Srivacha, Lakshma, the mark, Kim, what, Agaha, you attained, Bhaga, all opulences of all good qualities, Bhajana, the reservoir, Tvam, you, Translation: O Lord, you are exceedingly attached to the activities of your pure devotees, yet you are never attached to the goddess of fortune who constantly engage in your transcendental loving service. How can you be purified, therefore, by the dust of the path traversed by the Brahmanas? And how can you be glorified or made fortunate by the marks of Sri Vascha on your chest? Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is said in the Brahma Samhita that the Lord is always served by many hundreds of thousands of goddess of fortune in his Vaikuntha planet. Yet, because of his attitude of renunciation of all opulences, he is not attached to any one of them. The Lord has 6 opulences: unlimited wealth, unlimited fame, unlimited strength, unlimited beauty, unlimited knowledge, and unlimited renunciation. All the demigods and other living entities worship Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, just to get her favor. Yet the Lord is never attached to her because he can create an unlimited number of such goddesses for his transcendental service. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is sometimes envious of the tulsi leaves which are placed at the lotus feet of the Lord, for they remain fixed there and do not move, whereas Lakshmi, although stationed by the chest of the Lord, sometimes has to please other devotees who pray for her favor. Lakshmi ji sometimes has to go to satisfy her numerous devotees, but tulsi leaves never forsake their position, and the Lord therefore appreciates the service of the tulsi more than the service of Lakshmi. When the Lord says, therefore, it is due to the causeless mercy of the Brahmanas that Lakshmi ji does not leave him, we can understand that Lakshmi ji is attracted by the opulence of the Lord, not by the Brahmanas' benedictions upon him. The Lord is not dependent on anyone's mercy for his opulence. He is always self-sufficient. The Lord's statement that his opulence is due to the benediction of the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas is only to teach others that they should offer respect to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Lord. Text 22, Canto 3, Chapter 16. Dharmasyate Bhagavat Triyuga Tribhisvai Padbis Characharam Idam Dvijateva Tardam Nunam Brutam Tad Abhigati Rajas Tamascha Satve Nano Varadaya Tanuva Nirashyam. Dharmasya, of the personification of all religion, Te, of you, Bhagavataha, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Triyuga, you who are manifest in all 3 millennium, Tribi by 3, Swai, your own, Pad by feet, Characharam, animate and inanimate, Idam, this universe, Dvija, the twice born, Devata, the demigods, Ardham, for the sake of, Nunam, however, Brutam, protected, Tat, those feet, Abhigati, destroying, Rajaha, the mode of passion, Tamaha, the mode of ignorance, Cha, and Satvena, of pure goodness, Na, unto us, Varadaya, bestowing all blessings, Tanuva, by your transcendental form, Nirasya, driving away. Translation: O Lord, you are the personification of all religion. Therefore, you manifest yourself in 3 millennium, and thus you protect this universe, who consists of animate and inanimate beings. By your grace, which is of pure goodness and is a bestower of all blessings, kindly drive away the elements of Rajas and Tamas for the sake of the demigods and twice born. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord is addressed in this verse as Triyuga, one who appears in 3 millenniums, namely the Satya, Dvapara, Treta Yugas. He is not mentioned as appearing in the 4th millennium or Kali Yuga. It is described in Vedic literature that in Kali Yuga he comes as Channavatara or incarnation, but he does not appear as manifest incarnation. In the other yugas, however, the Lord is a manifest incarnation. Therefore, he is addressed as Triyuga, or the Lord who appears in 3 yugas. Sridhar Swami describes Three Yuga as follows. Yuga means couple, and three means three. The Lord is manifested as three couples by his six opulences or three couples of opulences. In that way, he can be addressed as Three Yuga. The Lord is a personality of religious principle. In 3 millenniums, religious principles are protected by the three kinds of spiritual culture, namely austerity, cleanliness, and mercy. The Lord is called Three Yuga in that way also. In the age of Kali, these three requisites to spiritual culture are almost absent. But the Lord is so kind that in spite of Kali Yuga's being devoid of these three spiritual qualities, he comes and protects the people of this age in his covered incarnation as Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is called covered because although he is Krishna himself, he presents himself as a devotee of Krishna, not directly Krishna. The devotees pray to Lord Chaitanya, therefore, to eliminate their stock of passion and ignorance, the most conspicuous assets of this yuga. In the Krishna consciousness movement, one cleanses himself of the modes of passion and ignorance by chanting the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, as introduced by Lord Chaitanya. The four Kumaras were cognizant of their situation in the modes of passion and ignorance because, although in Vaikuntha they wanted to curse devotees of the Lord, since they were conscious of their own weakness, they prayed to the Lord to remove their still existing passion and ignorance. The three transcendental qualifications, cleanliness, austerity, and mercy, are the qualifications of the thrice born and demigods. Those who are not situated in the quality of goodness cannot accept these three principles of spiritual culture. For the Krishna conscious movement, therefore, there are three sinful activities which are prohibited, namely illicit sex, intoxication, and eating food other than prasada offered to Krishna. These three prohibitions are based on the principles of austerity, cleanliness, and mercy. Devotees are merciful because they spare the poor animals. They are clean because they are free of contamination from unwanted foodstuff and unwanted habits. Austerity is represented by restricted sex life. These principles, indicated by the prayers of the four Kumaras, should be followed by the devotees who are engaged in Krishna consciousness. Text 23. Natvam dijottama kulam yadihatma gopam gopta rushaha swarahanena sasunrutenam tarhi eva nankshati shivastava deva panta loko grahishyat rishabhasya hitat pramanam. Not Tvam, you, Dvija, of the twice born, Uttamakulam, the highest class, Yadi, if, Ha, indeed, Atma Gopam, worthy to be protected by you, Gopta, the protector, Rusha, the best, Su Arhanena, by worship, Sa Sunru Thena, along with mild words, Tarhi, then, Eva, certainly, Nankshati, will be lost, Shiva, auspicious, Tava, your, Deva, O Lord, Panti, the path, Loka, the people in general, Agrahishyat, would accept, Rushabhashya, the best, he, because, Tat, that, Pramanam, authority. Translation: O Lord, you are the protector of the highest, of the twice born. If you do not protect them by offering worship and mild words, then certainly the auspicious path of worship will be rejected by people in general, who act on the strength and authority of your Lordship. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In Bhagavad Gita, it is stated by the Lord Himself that the acts and character of great authorities are followed by people in general. Leaders of ideal character are therefore needed in society. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared in this material world just to show the example of perfect authority, and people have to follow his path. The Vedic injunction is that one cannot understand the absolute truth simply by mental speculation or logical argument. One has to follow the authorities. Mahajano yena gata sapantaha. Great authorities should be followed. Otherwise, if we simply depend on the scriptures, we are sometimes misled by rascals, or else we cannot understand or follow the different spiritual injunction. The best path is to follow the authorities. The four Brahmana sages stated that Krishna is naturally the protector of the cows and Brahmanas. Go Brahmana Hitayacha. When Krishna was on this planet, he set a practical example. He was a cowherd boy and he was very respectful to the Brahmanas and devotees. It is also affirmed herein that the Brahmanas are the best of the twice born. Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas are all twice born, but the Brahmanas are the best. When there is a fight between two persons, each of them protects the upper part of his body, the head, arms, the best part of the social body, namely the Brahmanas. Similarly, the head, the arms, and the belly. Similarly, for the actual advancement of human civilization, the best part of the social body, namely the Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, the intelligent class of men, the military class, and the mercantile men, should be given special protection. Protection of the laborers should not be neglected, but special protection should be given to the upper orders. Of all classes of men, the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas should be given special protection. They should be worshipped. When their protection is performed, it is just like worshipping God. That is not exactly protection, it is a duty. One should worship the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas by offering them all kinds of endowments and sweet words. And if one has no means to offer anything, he must at least use sweet words to pacify them. The Lord personally exhibited this behavior towards the Kumaras. If this system is not introduced by the leaders, then human civilization will be lost. When there is no protection and special treatment for persons who are devotees of the Lord, who are highly intelligent in spiritual life, then the whole society is lost. The word Nangshati indicates that such a civilization becomes spoiled and is annihilated. The kind of civilization recommended is called Devapata, which means the royal road of the demigods. Demigods are supposed to be fully fixed in devotion service or Krishna consciousness. That is the auspicious path that should be protected. If authorities or the leaders of society do not give special respect to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas and do not offer them not only sweet words but all facilities, then the path of progress will be lost to human civilization. The Lord personally wanted to teach this and therefore he offered so much praise to the Kumaras. Text 24. Tate nabishtam iva sattva nider vidicho kshemam janaya nija shaktibir udra teraha naitvatatrai adipater bata vishvabhartus tejakshatam tva avan natasya sate vinodaha. That destruction of the path of auspiciousness, the by you. Anabhishtam is not killed. Iva as Sattvam Nide, the reservoir of all goodness. Vidocho, desiring to do. Kshemam, good. Janaya, for the people in general. Nijashaktibihi, by your own potencies. Udrita, destroyed. Are, the opposite element. No, not. Etavata, by this. Three Adi Pathe, are the proprietor of the three kinds of creation. Bata, O Lord. Vishwabhartu, the maintainer of the universe. Teja, potency. Kshatam, reduce. Tu, but. Avadatasya, submissive. Saha, that. Te, your. Vinodaha, pleasure. Translation: Dear Lord, you never want the auspicious path to be destroyed, for you are the reservoir of all goodness. Just to benefit people in general, you destroy the evil element by your mighty potency. You are the proprietor of the three creations and the maintainer of the entire universe. Therefore, your potency is not reduced by your submissive behavior. Rather, by submission, you exhibit your transcendental pastimes. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Krishna was never reduced in his position by becoming a cowherd boy or by offering respect to Sudama Brahmana or his other devotees like Nanda Maharaja, Vasudeva, Maharaja Yudhishthira, and the Pandavas' mother Kunti. Everyone knew that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, yet his behavior was exemplary. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Satchidananda Vigraha. His form is completely spiritual, full of bliss and knowledge, and it is eternal. His form is completely spiritual because the living entities are his parts and parcels. Originally, they also belong to the same quality of eternal form as the Lord. But when they come in contact with Maya, the material potency, due to their forgetfulness, their existence constitution is covered. We should try to understand the appearance of Lord Krishna in the spirit, as the Kumaras pray to him. He is eternally a cowherd boy at Vrindavana. He is eternally the leader of the battle of Kurukshetra. And he is eternally the opulent prince of Dwaraka and the lover of the damsels of Vrindavana. All his appearances are meaningful because they show his real characteristics to the conditioned souls who have forgotten their relationship with the Supreme Lord. He does everything for their benefit. The force exhibited in the battle of Kurukshetra by the desire of Krishna and through the agency of Arjuna was also necessary because when people become too religious, force is required. Non-violence in this respect is rascaldom. Text 25. Yam vanayor damam adisha bhavan vidatte vrittim nu vatad anu manmahi nirvyalikam asmasu vaya uchito driyatam satando inagasu vayam anukshamihi kilbisenam. Yeah, which, va, or anayo, both of them. Damam, punishment. Adisha, O Lord. Bhavan, your lordship. Vidatte, awards. Vrittim, better existence. Nu, certainly. Va, or tat, that. Anu manmahi, we accept. Nirvyalikam, without duplicity. Asmasu, to us. Va, or, yeah, whichever. Uchitaha is proper. Driyatham may be awarded. Sah, that. Danda, punishment. E, who. Anagashau, sinless. Vayam, we. Ayung Shamahi, allotted. Kilvishena, with a curse. Translation: O Lord, whatever punishment you wish to award to these two innocent persons, or also to us, we shall accept without duplicity. We understand that we have cursed two faultless persons. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The sages, the four Kumaras, now reject their cursing of the two doorkeepers Jaya Vijaya because they are now conscious that persons who engage in the service of the Lord cannot be at fault at any stage. It is said that anyone who has implicit faith in the service of the Lord or who actually engages in transcendental loving service has all the good qualities of the demigods. Therefore, a devotee cannot be at fault. If sometimes it is found that he is in error by accident or by some temporary arrangement, that should not be taken very seriously. The cursing of Jaya Vijaya is here repented. Now the Kumaras are thinking in terms of their position in the modes of passion and ignorance. They are prepared to accept any kind of punishment from the Lord. In general, when dealing with devotees, we should not try to find faults. In Bhagavad Gita, also it is confirmed that the devotee who faithfully serves the Supreme Lord, even if found to commit a gross mistake, should be considered as a sadhu, saint or saintly person. Due to former habits, he may commit some wrong, but because he is engaged in the service of the Lord, that wrong should not be taken very seriously. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, text 26, Canto 3, chapter 16. एतो सुरतेरगतिं प्रतिपद्य सद्या संप्रभासंव्रता समाधि अनुबद्ध योगौ भूया शिकाशम् उपस्यता आसु यो वा सापो मयैव निमितास्तदवेता विप्राः. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, Etau, these two doorkeepers, Sura Itara, demoniac, Gatim, the womb, Pratipadya, obtaining, Sadhya, quickly, Sambramba, by anger, Sambruta, intensified, Samadhi, concentration of mind, Anubadha, formally, Yoga, unlimited with me, Bhuya, again, Shakasham, to my presence, Upa, Yasyataha, shall return, Asu, shortly, Yah, which, Va, of you, Sapaha, Shapaha, curse, Maya, by me, Eva, alone, Nimitaha, ordained, Tat, that, Aveta, no, Vipraha, O Brahmanas. Translation. The Lord replied, O Brahmanas, know that the punishment you inflicted on them was originally ordained by me, and therefore they will fall to a birth in a demonic family. But they will be firmly united with me in thought through mental concentration intensified by anger, and they will return to my presence shortly. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord stated that the punishment inflicted by the sages upon the doorkeepers Jaya Vijaya was conceived by the Lord Himself. Without the Lord's sanction, nothing can happen. It used to be understood that there was a plan in the cursing of the Lord's devotees in the Vaikuntha, and His plan is explained by many stalwart authorities. The Lord sometimes desires to fight. The fighting spirit also exists in the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, how could fighting be manifested at all? Because the Lord is the source of everything. Anger and fighting are also inherent in His personality. When He desires to fight with someone, He has to find an enemy. But in the Vaikuntha world, there is no enemy because everyone is engaged fully in His service. Therefore, He sometimes comes to this material world as an incarnation in order to manifest His fighting spirit. In Bhagavad Gita 4.8 also it is said that the Lord appears just to give protection to the devotees and to annihilate the non-devotees. The non-devotees are found in this material world, not in the spiritual world. Therefore, when the Lord wants to fight, He has to come to this world. But who will fight with the Supreme Lord? No one is able to fight with Him. Therefore, because the Lord's pastimes in the material world are always performed with His associates, not with others, He has to find some devotee who will play the part of an enemy. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says to Arjuna, My dear Arjuna, both you and I have appeared many times in this material world, but you have forgotten, whereas I remember. Thus, Jaya and Vijaya were selected by the Lord to fight with Him in the material world, and that was the reason the sages came to see Him, and accidentally the doorkeepers were cursed. It was the Lord's desire to send them to the material world, not perpetually, but for some time. Therefore, just as on a theatrical stage, someone takes the part of an enemy to the proprietor of the stage, Although the play is for a short time and there is no permanent enmity between the servant and the proprietor, so the Surajanas, devotees, were cursed by the sages to go to the Asurajana, or atheistic families. That a devotee should come into an atheistic family is surprising, but it is simply a show. After finishing their mock fighting, both the devotee and the Lord are again associated in the spiritual planets. That is very explicitly explained here. The conclusion is that no one falls from the spiritual world or Vaikuntha planet, for it is the eternal abode. But sometimes, as the Lord desires, devotees come into this material world as preachers or as atheists. In each case, we must understand that there is a plan of the Lord. Lord Buddha, for example, was an incarnation, yet he preached atheism. There is no God, but actually there was a plan behind this, as explained in the Bhagavatam. Today we read up to Canto 3, Chapter 16, Text 27, 26. We'll continue reading tomorrow. Gandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. We'll continue to Guru Puja. Hare Krishna. Jahara prasadi bai e baba turiya chai. Krishna prapti hoy ja hote. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Kuriya Kya. Arana Kuriho Mani Asha. Shri Guru Cherari Rati Yese Uttama Gati. Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते या विद्या विनाशा जाते विधि गाय जहरा चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदमा जैनारा बंधु लोकाना लोकेरा जीवाना आहा प्रभु कोरो दुया देह मोरे पादाचाया Ibejas gusuk tribuvana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Adi Paschatya Dish Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Jaya Sri Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nityai Gaura Hari Bol Nityai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nityai Gaura Hari Bol Nityai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nityai Gaura Hari Bol Nityai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nityai Gaura Hari Bol The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which you get in pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to my conscience purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is a perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take the shelter of your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.